All right, so we talked about there were a lot of exciting games, so we got to start with the big one, man. Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime, a double overtime win against Colorado State late Saturday night. I was unfortunately on the East Coast for this game, so we were up to like 2:30 watching this. Had a lot of stuff in it. The build-up pregame with all the trash talk, and then unfortunately the late hit by Henry Blackburn on Travis Hunter that essentially ended his night with, I believe, a lacerated kidney. And then
liver, lacerated liver.
See, that's why I bring you on. You're the doctor expert.
No, I'm not.
But Coach Prime essentially said that Hunter's going to be out for 3 weeks. But nonetheless, the game was exciting from beginning to end. But first, did the game say more about Colorado or Colorado State?
I think it said more about Colorado. And credit to Colorado State. They played a great game. They came ready to play. But I think it says more about Colorado for a couple of reasons.
But with you.
and not
you
in a
can't
good
be a straight shooter.
No. There's 3 reasons, and it's not in a good way. I think it shows they're not ready for an elite team yet. And while Colorado State played above their heads, let's face it, because the first 2 games, Colorado State did not look good. They played above their heads, but it was a home game for Colorado. They should have put, especially after what Colorado State's coach said about their coach, they should have put the Colorado State Rams in their place. And they didn't. So if you think you're that good to be a top 15 team to be on the national stage every day, you got to put a team like Colorado State in their place. That's what we always say about the Alabamas, the Georgias. That's when you know, like what we're talking about as Miami Hurricane fans, when we put certain teams in their place, that's when we know we're back.
Yeah, when you handle business against the spread, because they were 23-point favorites?
Yeah, some 24, 23, 21.
Like you can't go to double overtime at home. But
the
be
other
down
side
11.
To that is they were down 11 late.
It is a rivalry game. Like I know we think Colorado was that much better than Colorado State, but Colorado State showed me some things in that game. I forgot his name, but that number 14 at receiver, he's gonna get drafted.
I told you about
it. That might be the best receiver on the field in that game. And Colorado State's defense, nasty. Number 8, your boy Kamara, the defensive tackle. Yeah. I mean, he was out there just making life hell for Colorado. But I agree with you. I think it did show that they were tough and resilient, but it also showed they have a long way to go. I don't think they're ready for prime time. I don't think they're ready to hang with USC, Oregon, and definitely not ready to hang with those guys without Travis Hunter. I think him not being in there is a big difference. But positive, I think it showed that Colorado has a top 3 NFL draftable quarterback. However you want to stack it, Shedeur Sanders is him. I know we picked him as the top offensive transfer and the top quarterback transfer before the season, but let's be real. There was always a little bit of a doubt in the back of our mind, and we've had those conversations privately. Is he going to be able to play like that, like he did at Jackson State at the D1 level? And it's like, this is better than I could have imagined. They're talking about him going behind Caleb Williams. Like, he has surpassed Drake May. Think about that. Drake
in 2
May.
Games.
In 2 games. He's behind Drake May. And after watching that Colorado State game, I'm not arguing with people about it. It's almost like a 2A, 2B conversation. Like, Shedeur is him. He looked composed. Everything looked easy. And I felt like they were never out of the game as long as he was back there.
Well, that was my second point. Is it just shows they're carried by Shedeur. I mean, sure. He took over in that fourth quarter. He didn't have Travis Hunter, didn't have a run game all night, basically, and he took over. But I also think, JT, because I think we bring up good points, but it shows how suspect that defense is. Because Colorado State, no one knew about a lot of these guys. Now everyone knows about who Colorado State's quarterback is, who number 14 is, who number 5 is. Like, you go down the line.
You knew who number 5 was. I'll give you props. You're like, hey, they got this guy number 5 on their team. I think he's NFL type of guy.
Yeah. Now, I think he did drop a big pass, but he had that great catch. And it just, they're going to get further exposed on defense once they get to the heart of the Pac-12, which starts this Saturday for them.
Yeah, one more thing before we move on. I think I found out another thing. Shiloh Sanders is not his daddy's son when it comes to playing quarterback. He don't look like he has that Sanders speed, man. He got caught on that pick 6 that he had, so he
didn't get caught.
He got caught. 14 caught him, man.
He did not. But it's number 14. Come on.
We saying it like 14 is the GOAT. You are Shiloh Sanders.
You are
playing cornerback Like, you are the son of Deion Sanders. We are expecting like elite speed, man. He got hawked down by a dude that's probably a 1-star.
Wow, come on.
But we talked about the Travis Hunter injury, so let's go back to that. And this was something that we talked about when it happened during the game, and talking heads in the media have been talking about it ever since. Should Colorado State defensive back Henry Blackburn have been ejected for that hit on Travis Hunter?
Well, two things before I even answer it. One, we obviously hope that Travis Hunter is doing well, and it seems like he is out of the hospital.
Yeah, I seen him online. He looked like he wasn't even hurt.
Yeah, he's out of the hospital Monday. Lacerated liver is out a couple weeks beginning this week. So you never like to see those. Plus, for Henry Blackburn, what I think bothered all of us, and it bothered Deion Sanders too, is the death threats toward him and his family. Phone numbers got leaked, addresses got leaked, and it's like, yeah, it's unacceptable. And class act by Coach Prime to come out and state that toward the people that are making these threats, that it is only a football game at the end of the day, and they're both trying their hearts out there.
Yeah, that's all great,
but,
right?
To answer,
hold on. I want to stay on that topic. I'm glad you brought it up. Teamwork, rah, sportsmanship. I love it, right? I do feel bad.
You can't say it that way.
I don't think death threats. I don't think death threats are too far. But here's the thing, though. Some of it is on Jay Norvell. Like, there were reports before this game that they were trying they were trying to go out and do something like this. It was in the game plan. They asked him about it at halftime. He didn't show really any concern for Hunter. It was more of, hey, like, this happens. And then afterwards, he doubled down and said, this happens in football. I don't think and you can show me if I'm wrong, I haven't heard anywhere where I've heard Norvell ask about or seen concern about Travis Hunter. It was more about protecting his guy.
Yeah,
why he was validated in doing it.
But that's part of his job as a coach, is to protect his guys.
But Coach Prime had to be the bigger man, and also talk about his player that was wrong, and also say, like, it's okay, you guys shouldn't be doing all this stuff, which he should have. But it's like, why is Norvell being left out of all of this when he was the one that escalated the atmosphere in the situation? Like, he could have easily quelled this down.
In what way? Because he's defending his guy. That's what players want.
I get it, defending your guy, but you can defend your guy while also having some apathy for the guy that was illegally hurt because of your coaching call. Like, that's all I'm just saying. But
how is that his coaching call?
Oh, come on, man.
You're saying there's a bounty gate? Is there a bounty gate?
Yeah, I am. That's how it looks.
See, we don't do that. We don't do that irresponsible speculation journalism, bro. We don't do that.
Call it what you want. I'm irresponsible as hell at night.
That's what
Bounty Gate 2.0.
You're being
Has Norvell been on the staff with Sean Payton or Greg Williams before? We need to investigate that because it's very similar.
That's irresponsible journalism. But to answer your question, like with all that said, he should not have been ejected for it. What is the rule? Here's the rule: targeting. All right, that's the first thing. Let's see. It wasn't that. There was no use of the crown of the helmet. Then the other thing is, you don't have to use the crown, but you could still get targeting when there's forcible contact above the shoulders, meaning to the neck and head area. You go look at the play. It was not. That's how he ended up with a lacerated liver instead of a concussion or a separated shoulder. It was because it was to the chest or the body of Travis Hunter. So it wasn't with the crown of the helmet. And then two, he didn't lead with his shoulder or his arm or his elbow to the neck or head area of Travis Hunter. Now, I get you're emotional and everything because you felt Jay Norvell escalated this and that. But listen, we've always said it in slow-mo. Yeah, it looks like he could have pulled up. But listen, adrenaline's running, right? Both teams, you said it earlier, it's a rivalry game, and they're the underdog on the road.
I'm impressed with how much you're listening to me so far, because you just bringing up my whole points. You said.
Those four elements led to a high-intensity impact game, and that play sometimes happens.
Bullshit. Yes, you should have been ejected. I've seen guys get ejected for less at questionable calls. No matter what speed, no matter what
thrown out for
definition, whatever definition you look at, whether it was 1080p, 4K, you could have seen in 480p old standard definition that this was malintent, because Look, he's out there headhunting, trying to hurt people on the sideline. Hold on, answer this question. If Travis Hunter was a quarterback in that situation and he goes to the sideline, the ball is nowhere in play, and Blackburn does something like this, do you think they eject him?
But that's not what happened here.
But I'm asking. Let's say it's a quarterback that goes to the sideline. So because he's a quarterback, he's not a quarterback, it doesn't matter.
I'm glad
it's the intent. It was obvious malicious intent. Absolutely.
I'm glad you
bounty vibes, like I said.
If you want him thrown out, then your guy, Shedeur Sanders, has to get thrown out.
Eye-poke King?
Yeah. So you want to throw him out? I'm surprised. Yes. You know why? You know why we're not asking this question?
But here's the thing.
You don't want
Here's the thing. I am. Can you be quiet for 5 seconds? Here's the difference. Here is the difference.
There's no difference.
We all saw that. We all saw the hit on Travis Hunter. The ref was right there.
Oh my goodness.
The cameras later caught the eye poke on Shedeur Sanders.
JT.
So if you want to go back and throw everybody out for the dirty plays they did in that game that the refs didn't see live, Colorado State wouldn't even have a team.
Are you an official? Have you passed the official?
Are you an official?
Because there are like 8 referees out there that are all watching.
And all of them couldn't see shit. This was a malintent play.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
I told you, bounty vibes. I will say this before I go on to the next question. I will say this. Yeah, you're wrong. I'll say this.
You're wrong. How are you going to allow a guy to stay in the game that literally pokes someone?
Because nobody saw it. The refs obviously didn't see it. Because did he get a penalty on that play?
He should have. He
did it because they didn't see it. The refs saw this.
So would you be okay with, because it's on camera, that he misses the Oregon game?
Oh my God. You're missing the whole point.
No, you're missing the point. You want to focus.
The refs did not see it. The refs did not see it. Was it wrong? Yes.
I asked you a question. Why doesn't he get suspended? Because in targeting,
because it wasn't a penalty in the moment.
It doesn't. Oh my goodness. Go ahead.
We're gonna agree to disagree. But I think you kind of already answered this next storm, and then we'll be done with Colorado. Without Travis Hunter, can they weather this storm over the next 3 weeks?
Nah, or not with Oregon. Not with Oregon. Maybe like Stanford and stuff, but not with Oregon. Their offense is coming up next, and I told you Colorado's defense is already suspect.
And Dan Lannon wants this game too, because he's low key been chirping about the Deion hype too. He's not happy about it, so he'll be ready. And now he sees no Travis Hunter. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they're ready. They can't win without Hunter.
Yeah, no, not against this elite competition, right? Yeah, Scott, you're right. Bringing the fire today because JT is clearly wrong.
That's ridiculous, man. Everybody wants to protect this goon that was out there to obviously hurt Travis Hunter. He spoke about it before in local media that this was something they were looking to do. His coach basically amped it up. He was Greg Williams 2.0. This dude was out there acting like the dude was Brett Favre on the sideline. I don't care what you say. Go on to the next question.
See, that's disrespectful when you're going to come after like a 19-year-old kid who's playing his heart out.
I said no death threat. That's horrible. That's horrible. That should never happen. That should never happen.
So from now on, so everyone listening, anytime you see something that may have bad intent, that guy's gone. So now referees have to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner, figuring out the intent behind hits. If you jump on a pile late, is it bad intent? You know what? We're not sure. JT's rule was throw him out.
All you got to know is that was Xavier Restrepo that had that situation. Don would be having a different team. Can we go to the next question?
Let's go to the check down game. Let's stay in college football because it's so popular right now, and you're completely wrong. So week 3, essentially, don't roll your eyes at me. Week 3.
I just did. What you do about it?
Season,
do better.
Listen, I'm trying.
Do your job better. Read the question, please.
You just need to do your job first, and then worry about getting to my level.
This is why I don't want to do this show anymore. Hey, Jesus, I gotta deal with you doing this. Can you just go on to the?
That is fine. I've got Give Us a Shot Network. I'm sure
he's already got my exit strategy.
So all right, so week 3 is in the books technically. 4 games if you consider week 0, but college football season now. So let's play another edition of the check down game. All right, with JT and myself. So we're going to give a question, then provide multiple answers or responses to the question, but we're going to select the best answer. Kind of like when JT took those multiple choice tests back at
Hey, I had good grades, so don't you can't try my GPA. I don't think you want to do the GPA game with me, bro.
stud linebacker and 4.0 GPA. That's impressive.
However you want to frame it.
Yo, Larry Coker should have came looking for you.
Nah, he came looking for Willie.
What's the bigger surprise? Colorado State against Colorado or the Gators beating Tennessee in that game?
I think it's Colorado State for all the things that we mentioned before. 23-point dogs on the road. Your coach has put extra pressure on you with all his pregame talk. Like everything was built up for Colorado State to come in that game and get beat by 30. And we would have understood if they did. But what did they do? They outplayed Colorado for 95% of that game. If Shedeur Sanders is not the quarterback in that game, I think Colorado State could have won by 2 or 3 scores. Like that's how over their heads they played in that game. And I got to give credit to Norvell. Like he outcoached Dion. He did on both sides of the ball and including special teams. So I thought that Colorado State's performance was way more impressive.
Yeah. And Germ with the nice words, Dawn is the face of Give Us a Shot Network. I'm not, but I appreciate that. Just to kind of take
don't try to turn it down. You got to know it. Germ just told everyone who the company favorite is. I already knew it.
I agree with you. It's Colorado State just because of the hype of Colorado for them to come in and play like that after the way they looked after their first 2 games for Colorado State to do that. That was really good. Plus, I think Tennessee's a little overrated. So that Florida win, when we look back at it in 2.5 months, I've got a feeling it may not be as good as it looked that night. All right, so more worried. That's the question. More worried on Alabama or Clemson long term?
Oh, this is easy. It's Clemson. And it's Clemson because Clemson's success has really been on the backs of a few generationally talented players. You're talking about Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, and I'll throw Travis Etienne in there. Like, not only is Clemson not getting those guys anymore, but when they do get 5 stars, they're like Miami 5 stars. They ain't what they signed up for. And that coaching staff is that they can't develop the guys on offense. Like, Klubnik, I don't think he's getting developed. DJ Uiagalelei clearly hasn't been developed because he's doing great at Oregon State. And Alabama, they're still getting the talent. Now, they may not be getting the depth that they had before, but Nick Saban's still having top 5 classes, and those guys are still playing well. But Clemson is worrying me, so I'll definitely pick them for that answer.
It's funny. That's not what you said preseason during the college preview show. You were saying Bama's in trouble.
They are, but Clemson's in bigger trouble.
Yeah, I agree. It's Clemson. The portal and NIL deals. That's like, does Dabo believe in that? And if he doesn't seem to be, and that's why I think they're long-term in trouble, because Bama will go to the transfer portal, right? They got the Tennessee linebacker last year.
Saban ain't got no choice now.
They went and got the quarter. They went and got Tyler Buckner. So, like, you know, mid-level schools in the ACC, Duke, they're beating Clemson now. Bama's still taking care of South Florida, even though it's a closer game.
I mean, technically, we're a mid-level school in the ACC right now, and we're getting better classes or equal classes to Clemson.
And we're going to see, though, talent-wise on the field, how we do against Clemson. But that'll be the story right there, JT. If we hang with Clemson or somehow beat them, that's how you know Clemson's in trouble.
Is that the tombstone of Clemson if we beat them?
Oh, yes, absolutely. If we beat them, their run in the ACC is over, because now you have Florida State, Duke, North Carolina, Pitt, Miami. They can all overtake them, and basically would have overtaken Clemson at that point.
Hey, I ain't going to fight you on it.
Thank you. More worried, Georgia or Florida State, with both having close games against underdogs, big underdogs.
I hate this, man, because this is going to go against everything I said in the preseason, because I picked this team to be number 1. It's Georgia, man. I got to say it. They just don't look like the same team. And they clearly, and I called Stetson Bennett at the time. I was like, he's going to be irreplaceable. He's one of their best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in that school's history, just strictly at Georgia. But you can tell they clearly miss him. They clearly miss Todd Monken calling the plays on offense. And to a smaller extent, they miss our guy who's a Pittsburgh Steeler now, Darnell Washington. And I think all of those guys being gone has shifted the way Georgia can play. And the main reason and the main person that's being effective is Brock Bowers. Like, he's not being used the same way that he was used those years prior when Monken was there, or when he had Darnell Washington able to block more and he's able to run free and make all these big plays. Like, they need him to block more. I feel like they're using him more in a gadget role, and he's not having the season I expected when I put him as a top 3 overall player. So their quarterback play now, I mean, I think the kid has some talent, but he didn't look good in that first half of that South Carolina game. So they don't have the same talent. And I think when you keep losing like special players in droves, I just think it's harder and harder to reload.
Catches
yeah, and we thought Georgia could do it, but I don't think they're going to be able to withstand it.
Yeah, before I give my answer, because I do agree with you. I agree it's Georgia. But first, Scott, thanks again for watching. He says Coach Cassidy was right about Oregon State, college football expert. That's why we bring Coach C and keep Coach C on the show.
For real, man. Where would we be without him? Honestly,
I don't know.
Nobody would listen to us. Clearly wrong.
Yeah, we'd have no college football segments anymore. It's Georgia. You know, they were at home. That's the other thing. At least Florida State had to go to BC. The weather wasn't great up there, but you were at home. And the other thing is, like, do we know if Carson Beck is the guy? I don't know yet.
He is, man.
And I think you're right about Stetson Bennett. Like, he was better than what we thought at Georgia. I think you're still wrong about it in the NFL, but at Georgia, he was way more special than we give credit. But the other thing, too, is why I think they're in trouble. Maybe some of those offseason issues are catching up. Like, when you're not disciplined, JT, and you think, oh, we're back-to-back champs, it's guaranteed number 3.
It's going to be wash, rinse, repeat, and you're not realizing you're the person that's got to actually go out there and play and make these championships happen.
Now it's your turn to step up.
They are going through the same thing that the Miami Hurricanes went through. We were just
early
unbelievable. We had all this NFL talent, and people were just like, we don't need a coach. We could just show up and just play, and it's not that simple.
Right.
I know Georgia's in trouble, and I'm not trying to throw shade at the young man. Like, I don't know his name, but I don't know if you remember in that game, there was a guy that scored a touchdown. I think it was a rushing touchdown, number 32. I was like, if this is the guy that they have playing running back to scoring touchdowns, Georgia in trouble.
No, that was a feel-good story because I think he was
It was, but it just tells you where they are.
Oh, you know, some people could have said that about Stetson Bennett too. So,
hey, man, Stetson Bennett is the GOAT, man. He's been on
now
campus for 8 years.
Now
man.
he is. When he came back and transferred back into Georgia, no one thought that. They all said, "Hey, JT Daniels is going to start," so we're okay.
We know who JT Daniels is.
So, more impressive, Shedeur or JJ McCarthy?
Oh, this is tough because JJ McCarthy was my preseason Heisman pick, and I think he's leading all of college football quarterbacks in QBR. I thought I saw that somewhere, but it's Shedeur, man. Like, it's insane. Like, Shedeur Sanders, I would feel comfortable drafting him right now in front of Drake May. Like, that's where I'm at. And what I've seen from him is just things you can't teach, man. He's got it. Like, I don't know what it is, but he's got it. So I'm more impressed with him.
Oh, it's definitely Shedeur. I mean, I can't even believe it was a question. This is definitely a JT question trying to create unnecessary drama. Dude, Shedeur came back double digits fourth quarter without Travis Hunter, put the team on his back, prime time, whole country watching. And then on top of that, bro, if you look like, where's that QBR coming from? Because JJ McCarthy threw 3 interceptions against Bowling Green. It's Bowling Green. This ain't the Georgia defense or TCU defense from last
It's those week
year.
0 stats that are padding it.
It must be.
It probably was before that game that he was leading it.
Yeah, it must have been.
I saw it.
It must have been. It's Shedeur, not even a question. That shouldn't even be on the show. Sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. The play to Horn Jr. I think it was to tie it up. Like,
where he was it the scrambling one?
It was the scramble, the manipulation of the safety, like that right there. I'm like, hey, look, it's him. He's him. He should be a Heisman favorite.
Yeah. Well, my Heisman favorite, talk about the next team more impressive, the Washington Huskies with Michael Penix or Notre Dame.
This is tough, man. But I know you want to pick Washington, but I'm gonna disagree.